What up, Five Stripe fam? I am your girl, Kelly Francis, here for Atlanta United Fan TV and Unreal ATL, and we are here with the man, Tanner McLeod. All right, we sat next to each other for most of the match, eating up bananas, and me listening to you yell.
I was the one yelling. No. Let me make this very clear. I was mostly muttering and complaining under my breath. She was the one screaming at everyone every single play. But the empanadas were good. It's the only saving grace of this entire match because this match was disappointing.
All right. We lost 1-0 to the Red Bulls. Let's go ahead and get your overall thoughts on the match, and then we can dive deeper into certain particular issues that you have weighing on your mind. So let's go ahead and start into the full overarching. What were your thoughts on the match?
Well, I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, I get that Atlanta United's won, well, now 5 out of 7, had won 5, or 6 out of 7, had won 5 in a row. Clean sheets, it was really good.
New York rocks. Atlanta's pretty good, too.
But Atlanta United, despite being up a man for almost 50 minutes of that game, 50-plus minutes, created less chances against 10 men than they did against 11. And I don't care how tired they are. Tonight's performance was a shambles because you should be able to create chances. They created more chances against 11 men than they did against 10. You had 2 clear-cut opportunities in the first half, and your players can't put them away. You have players like PC Martinez, who go anonymous. Tito, who clearly had Kamar Lawrence in his head the whole match. It wasn't good enough. And I get that it's Red Bulls. I get that they're a good team, but they didn't have their best players. They had one of their best defenders sent off early in the match, in Tim Parker. So they lost that. And Atlanta United had the entire initiative of that match and could do absolutely nothing with it. It finally came about to where Atlanta United did not take their chances, and the other team did.
So, and the overall aspect of it, you think our attack is honestly what is the fulcrum to us losing right now?
Yeah, absolutely, because the defense has been good. You gave away 1 goal. Which on the break, it wasn't a good goal. It was frustrating to have that goal go in.
It wasn't.
It wasn't pretty, but if you give away 1 goal, there is enough talent in that attack that you should be able to muster more than 2 shots on target in the whole match against the 10-man side. You had the majority of the possession in the second half, and it seemed that the only ideas were back to how it was at the beginning of the year. No ideas, pass, go to the wing, cross into the box, it gets headed away or caught by the keeper, or gets hit by the first man. I mean, it was the same thing over and over again. There was no ideas against a Red Bull team that was missing a lot of its key leaders, and their best player on the pitch was their left back. It's not good enough for a team that should be getting 3 points in this match.
Okay, and in that regard, going into the substitutions that we made to try and progress the game forward, what do you feel like we improved on with our substitutions, with bringing in Dion Pereira, obviously bringing on Romario Williams? What were your thoughts on the substitutions that we made to help us progress further?
I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of put it on Frank de Boer in this match because I thought he made good subs. Julian Gressel's been playing a lot of minutes, so I understood Dion Pereira coming on for him. I love the fact that he took off a center back for a striker because he was really going for the match and expected to do more. And then he also, who was the other player that he brought on that I'm slipping my mind right now?
Romario and Dion Pereira are the 2 that I know of.
And then
was there another sub? Did we use all 3 subs?
Yeah, we used all 3 subs.
Who was the 3rd sub?
It's slipping my mind off the top of my head. I apologize. It's been a wild weekend so far, but I can't blame Frank de Boer.
Breck Shea.
Breck Shea, there we go. Yeah, Breck Shea came on for Parkey. So I understood that substitution. The subs made sense. He gave them time to do things. They just didn't do anything. PT was poor. Joseph was poor. He had a chance that he should have scored on, in my opinion. Tito was poor. Escobar was poor. There were so many players who all put in poor performances in the same match. And again, to lose to a 10-man Red Bull team and to concede the goal against 10 men, it's just not good enough. And it's something that Atlanta has been avoiding in their winning streak was the fact that they were taking their chances every now and then, but it wasn't a lot of them. It was 1-0s and 2-0s, and the other team was missing theirs. And today, in the first, minute and a half of the match, Red Bulls have a shot that goes off the crossbar. They easily should have been 1-0 up. So off the get-go, you had warning signs. The press, they were doing really well, but then they had to change their game plan. Red Bull had to change the complete way that they played once they went down to 10 men, and Atlanta United couldn't do anything with that. And again, Red Bull, solid team, but they've been struggling to score this year as well. They've been having some of the same issues that Atlanta United have been having. But this was a real chance with teams dropping points around them, with the games in hand, for Atlanta United to go get a result against a team that's been difficult for them and really start knocking and kicking things on and taking the initiative to get first place in the East. It was there to be had, but Atlanta United did not take advantage of that situation, and it's really frustrating.
I agree. It's absolutely frustrating. Now, looking forward, and we still have 2 more games before the end of May is even done. How do you think we move forward? How do we think we get out of this whole month of unrest and just congestion? What do you see for us going forward?
Well, you have 4 days off now between now and when you play Real Salt Lake on a Friday, and then you come back home and you play either Minnesota, I believe, at home on a Wednesday, and then you have Chicago on the weekend, June 1st. So you have 3 matches before you get a 25-day break where you're possibly anticipating losing a few guys to the international competitions in Gold Cup and Copa America. You need to get 9 points from those matches. I get that it's another big trek, and the scheduling has been stupid. But, had this been a 1-0 loss against an 11-man Red Bull team, I wouldn't have been too upset about it. But against the fact that it was 10, that's a frustrating bit because there were points left on the table today. Now they have to go and win these next 3 matches. You're better than Real Salt Lake. You deserve to get 3 points. So not deserve, but you should get 3 points there. Then you have 2 matches at home against teams that you are better than. If this team is moving forward, and we thought that they were, then they're going to get results against those teams. If they don't, then Atlanta is going to have 25 days to really concentrate and figure out what the hell they need to do. Because even though they are up at near the top of the table, and they do have the matches in hand to go and take first place, this was not good enough today against a team that is not playing well, that had a lot of players being rotated out, and they still could not get a point against a 10-man side. If you cannot do that, you're not going to do well in the postseason, because if you can't beat a 10-man a 10-man New York Red Bull team at home in the regular season, how do you expect to do it in the postseason against 11?
Absolutely. Even though it was a disappointing win, a 1-0 loss to the Red Bulls, who we clearly, in our opinion, think are our true rivals.
Yes, that is one thing that is absolutely accurate. This is a rivalry match. Orlando is those people, but for me, DC, Toronto, but absolutely New York Red Bull. This is the team that we measure ourselves against, which is another reason why it sticks kind of in my, crawl a bit, is that this is a team that we should have been beating today. This isn't as good of a team as it was last season. They were missing some of their best players, and you could not get a result against a 10-man team, even less create a good chance in the second half against a 10-man team. It's annoying because this is the team that we judge ourselves against, and, it's just not good enough.
I agree. Disappointing loss, 1-0 loss against the Red Bulls. We're going up against a Real Salt Lake team that just actually beat Toronto. This was Tanner McLeod's thoughts on the match. Check out some more thoughts for your next fan cams coming right up.